What's up guys, it is LateCom here. We're back with yet another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the best methods that you should be using at your specific power rank levels to progress in the game, ranging from 0 all the way up to 35,000 power rank and above. Before beginning, I would like to remind you guys that power rank is not the only way to gauge how strong a class is. If you would like to gauge how strong your class is, feel free to get the UI mod down in the description below, as it will show your coefficient, in which is basically a way to gauge how much damage you will be dealing. And you should watch the video in which we talk about how you could deal more damage in Trove before continuing on watching this video, as we will be focusing on the power rank aspect on Trove in this video and a little bit less on the class building. So without further ado, let's begin with this video. First off, we have got the 0 to 5,000 power rank range. This range could also be called the absolute beginner's range, and players should first be working to pick out a class of their choosing and level them up via Bomber Royale up to a level of at least about 20 or so. The reason why you should level up your classes until level 20 is so that you will be eligible to equip Crystal Gear, which is going to be one of the highest rarities, well, with Crystal 4 being the rarest, but we will not be talking about them at this point. And you should also complete the expertise quest, as that will grant you some decent gems and allow you to learn the gist of how to progress in the game. In this range of power rank, you should be equipping any gear and gems that give you more power rank and damage, as they will definitely serve you well as a temporary base boost. You can always swap them out for better gears as you progress. Next off, we've got the 5,000 to 15,000 power rank range. In this range, you should be getting the gist of how the game works, as well as get an idea of how or what you should be doing to progress even further. At this point in time, you should be trying to work on getting your crystal sets of gears from Uber 8 and still work on probably socketing your gems with higher rarities. As you progress further with higher rarity gears, you should be slowly be able to take on higher Ubers, in which will be your first goal. Work towards being able to solo Uber 9 elemental worlds, and once you are able to do that, further your progression in the Geode topside worlds. Farming gems on Wednesday, also known as Gem Day, will allow you to obtain more gem boxes, so it is going to be recommended for you guys out there to farm for your gem boxes on Gem Day. You should also be working towards maxing out your main class at level 30, as the higher the levels, the more gem slots you will be able to unlock. And speaking of gems, do not forget to complete your weekly effort points in order to obtain your weekly empowered gem boxes, as empowered gem boxes are going to be making up quite a substantial amount of power rank, so you should definitely not miss out on that as well. Heading on over into the next phase, we have got the 15,000 to 25,000 power rank range. At this point, soloing Uber 9 worlds shouldn't be that big of a problem, and in this range, you should be focusing on obtaining stellar gems as well as the appropriate empowered gems for your main class. Well, by appropriate, I mean gems that work best with the class that you are currently using. Other than that, you should be working on a couple of easier dragons, such as Panatia, also known as the Pinata Dragon, Vicondia, which is also known as the Sandseer or Sandsower Dragon, Caries, and several other of the Soul Dragons. Because dragons will give you a substantial amount of power rank, and this will stack over time. You should also be slowly working on progression in the Geode topside to slowly but surely obtain higher rarity cosmic gems and to increase the light required to be able to solo Uber 10, and this range will primarily be focusing on creating a strong foundation for your class in order to progress into the next level, so make sure that you do choose the right stats and builds for your classes. I have linked several class guides down in the description below, so feel free to check out those videos as well. Moving on into the middle game range, at a range of about from 25,000 up to 31,000 power rank. This is where things will get a little bit different. The focus in this range will probably be mainly about maxing your stellar gems at level 25, obtaining all primordial dragons, and to max a set of crystal 2 at least, or probably obtaining a Crystal 3 set and maxing that. A tip that I could provide for getting more gem dust would be to loot the Radiant Gems after leveling them to 15 on Gem Day, as this will probably give you a little bit more gem dust than, you know, what it takes to actually upgrade them to level 15. And I have also linked a video about it in the description below. For Primordial Dragons, make sure that you do complete your daily star bar to obtain more Diamond Dragonite in order to craft the eggs, as the Dormant Dragon eggs also do drop from Empowered Gem boxes, although it is going to be a very rare drop, so do not forget to complete your weekly effort points for a couple of these Empowered Gem boxes. And by now, you should probably be already grinding for a couple of other dragons, a little bit of your Trove and Geode Mastery in order to increase your statistics, power rank, and light. And if you probably didn't already know, one Trove Mastery level before a level of 500 will give you 4 power rank, and one Geode level will give you 5 power rank and 10 light. With that being said, Mastery will play a very vital role when it comes to your last couple of thousand power ranks, and it should never be neglected. Heading on over into the next phase, also known as the pre-endgame phase, this ranges from about 32,000 to 35,000 power rank, in which the goals are going to be simple. Augment your gem stats using your 26 weekly bound brilliance. I would recommend you guys using the precise focus for this very sole purpose, as it's going to be one of the best worth it ones for the augmenting. The second thing, you should be farming for your remaining dragons necessary, except Starfire, because you should probably be using an effigy to obtain it, as farming for it would probably take way too long, and probably working on your Mastery towards at least over 500 Trove and hitting 100 Geode Mastery. Now, one of the other main things that should be done at this range is to perfect your class builds, be it the stat boots, stats, distributions, and so on and so forth. Having a maxed, also known as 9099 light build, will never hurt, and you should try reaching this goal in this power rank range. I believe at this range of power rank, you would probably already have understood majority of this game's functions and progressions, so there may not be that many tips to give for this range. However, I would like to point out that you should be making use of the daily bonuses in order to boost your productivity. Make sure that you farm for your lustrous gem boxes on Wednesday to obtain augments for progression, and try to allow yourself to farm a couple of hours every single Friday in order to obtain your dragon fragments. Certain dragons are best farmed in certain biomes, so you should make sure that you should be farming them where they work best. The grind from pre-endgame to endgame is going to be one hell of a grind, and you should be prepared to invest at least a substantial amount of time into the game if you plan on making it into the endgame level. And finally, we have got none other than the endgame phase, in which is going to range from 35,000 power rank and above. If you've reached this far, congratulations, the grind has been a tough one. However, there are going to be still some things yet to be done, and we will now list them out. Firstly, you should have, or should really be coming close to, maxing out your gem power rank augments at a total of 24,769 power rank, in which is going to be the maximum amount of power ranks that you will be able to obtain as of right now, which should be worked on starting in the pre-endgame phase and completed as soon as reaching this new endgame phase. Secondly, farming a Crystal 4 set. This is going to be one of the most frustrating things to grind for, and you should be working on maxing out your Crystal 4 sets, which may take some time to complete. And finally, the most frustrating thing to grind for, the permanent Uber 10 Leviathan Torch. Many endgamers are still searching for one of these even after 100 or a couple hundreds of Leviathans, and this should be something that you should be working on at this point of time. Other things that you should be probably grinding for in the meantime, of course, should be your last remaining dragons, as well as working on your mastery for that last drops of power rank that you will be receiving. And I guess that's probably going to be everything that you should need to know from about 0 power rank all the way up to 36,000, and I hope that this guide definitely helped you out. And don't forget to check the links in the descriptions below for all the helpful content in which I mentioned in this video, and included in them will be some additional tips and guides to fuel your progression, so make sure you do check them out right now. Oh, and don't forget to head on over down below right now, like this video and subscribe to the channel as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video, and peace out.